Hey guys, welcome to the next part of this shed series. So we're putting on trim. All I'm using for the fascia trim is 1x8 pine. And since the shed has the overhang, you know, the shed's 10x16, but with the overhang, it's actually 17 foot 9 inches. So I had to buy a 10 foot and an 8 foot to be able to get the full length here. And then all I did was scarf joint it. You can notice I clamped it overnight, I glued it, and I actually put a, if you can see, there's a little, kind of like a mending block behind there that I nailed into. All right, so to get the fascia to the right height from top to bottom here, and for the soffit to fit up inside properly, we have 1/2 inch sheeting, and then we have our roof trusses, which are 2x4s, and then we have a purlin on top of that. So that total thickness is 5.5 inches. So I chose to buy the 8-inch, 1 inch by 8 pine for these. And then I basically just ripped about 3/4 of an inch off. The soffit itself, I had the fascia extend down just a little bit more. So when we put the soffit in, it's actually recessed up inside as opposed to being underneath. I don't want anywhere where water can kind of leak in and penetrate, because then we'll have rotting issues, you know, because we're not using PVC, we're using wood. All right, guys, so we got all the fascia and soffit in. So we're gonna be installing our double door trim here. So all it is a left and a right piece, and then a header piece over the top of it. Just butt joints, nothing fancy like 45s or anything like that. And we have to make sure that we put our trim right to the edge of this T111, because this is where the door, the T111 that's on the door, is gonna sit and seal the door all the way around. And I'm gonna probably go like maybe every 8 to 10 inches. All right, guys, so yesterday we were able to finish all the soffit and fascia. Also, we're gonna be installing, now that we had the soffit installed, right, we wanna wait to put our side trim boards in here until the soffit is installed, so we can put that up there and get the angle cut just right on there. And I'm gonna show you how to do that and how to hide the left side board with the front board. We want the left front board overhanging just a little bit, 3/4 of an inch to be exact. To cover that so you don't see the butt joint from the front of the shed. All right, now I'm gonna show you what I mean about hiding that butt joint for the trim. So let's just say this is our trim piece here. Obviously not, because it's enormous, right? We don't want that butt joint, or I don't want that butt joint to be visible from the front. So all I'm gonna do is extend this out the width of my trim piece and cover it out this way when we put our trim on here. And I'll obviously nail the trim into the shed, and then I'll face nail this edge here. Now, to cut this piece for the eave side trim here, our soffit on this shed is not parallel with the ground. I chose to leave that angle from the roof line on here. I'm not planning on installing gutters, so that's why the soffit is angled this way. I cut the end of my trim piece here, 26.5. I'm gonna show you how that fits up here now. So you can see, as I push this up here, now we fit nice and flush against the soffit, and that's what you want. I really try not to leave like huge gaps anywhere. I mean, sometimes you can't help it. You may cut something a little short or whatnot, but you really want everything to fit really tight. All right, so if you can see now, we match that roof line perfectly. So all we need to do is make sure we move this out the right amount so it covers up that left side, and then we'll get everything nailed in. I'm gonna install the side piece first, and to make sure that the side piece, which is already cut the length by the way, to make sure that this side piece is in the right position for the front trim to go on, all I'm gonna do is push this up all the way. And I'm gonna use this large block here. I'm gonna bring that right up against it. All right, so I decided I'm gonna add this little trim piece. So I have, from cutting the soffits, I have basically a 3/4 by 3/4 pine. And instead of throwing it out, I think I'm gonna actually add it up top here. I think it'll look nice and it'll tie it together. And just because of the little discrepancies here in how the soffit is mounted against the siding here, you know, instead of globbing a bunch of caulk in there, I was gonna put quarter round molding, but I'm like, why go out and buy molding when I have this extra pine here? And I'm just gonna nail it in place, prime it, paint it, and I think it'll look good.